Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We'd also like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi, which we have amended to include Gary Lineker's sacking by the BBC. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. Okay folks, let's get right into it. Christian Horner, until his sacking 2 days ago, was the longest-serving team principal, who had been leading Red Bull Racing since its inception in 2005. During those 20 years, the team won 7 drivers and 6 constructors' world titles, and had 123 Grand Prix wins, the second most ever for a team principal in F1 history. So, Christian has quite a record, right? Well then, why has he been summarily sacked, in the middle of a title defense? Let's talk about it. Red Bull have produced 2 world champions, the first one being Sebastian Vettel, who won 4 consecutive titles from 2010 to 2013, and the second of course is Max Verstappen, who won 3 consecutive titles from 2022 to 2024. During the 8 fallow years from 2014 to 2021, Christian was not sacked, so why has he been sacked in the middle of a title defense? Have Red Bull become so accustomed to running away with titles that having to compete for one is deemed a failure? What we are witnessing here is what happens when people start winning titles because they deserve them, rather than because they accumulated the most points legitimately. Max deserved the 2021 title because Sir Lewis already had 7 and he had none, and he deserved another 3 to help him catch up and confirm his credentials as the Great White Hope. Could Christian ever have imagined that after playing a central role in the behind-the-scenes agreement to dethrone Sir Lewis at all costs in 2021, and install Max on a platform of lies, he would be summarily dismissed to keep the lie alive? Could he have thought when he brutally sacked Liam Lawson after just 2 races this season, he himself would be brutally dismissed? It appears that Liam was sacked because Red Bull's Japanese engine supplier and the Japanese supporters deserved to have a Japanese driver at the Japanese Grand Prix, which just happened to be the 3rd GP. After all, if the home supporters from Down Under deserved to have a driver from Down Under in the opening race, then why shouldn't the Japanese enjoy the same privilege? After spawning the what people deserved era, it was only right that Christian get what he deserved as well, wouldn't you say? After lying and twisting the truth in defense of Verstappen's fake credentials, Christian certainly deserved to be sacked to keep the lies alive. As we pointed out in our previous video, the stats show clearly how badly Max has been performing this season, to the extent that it completely undermines all the false praise that they have been heaping on his head. Max was tanking so badly that he was effectively out of the title race before the halfway point after conceding the title before the 4th race, but we didn't hear any mention of that in the lamestream F1 media, until Christian was sacked. Fittingly, reports of Christian's sacking made reference to how badly the team and not Max has been performing this season. However, as we showed you in our previous video, the stats made clear that Max's failures were down primarily to his errors mid-race, so you can't really hold Christian responsible for that. But when you play with fire you get burnt. Christian loved playing with fire and he deserved to get burnt. He enjoyed lapping up the glory of a successful team principal, when he was actually a fraud, reaping the reward of Liberty Media's commitment to manipulating races for their dastardly benefit. So, he deserved to be sacked once Liberty Media had terminated the agreement. They all knew then that they stood no chance of winning this season. Can't imagine a team principal that was coming relatively fresh of the back of 2 constructors and supposedly 4 drivers' world title, would be sacked in the middle of his driver's title defense that could possibly yield a record equaling 5th. If such a thing has ever happened in F1 before, or could have happened if Red Bull's credentials were genuine, then please let us know in the comments section. They knew that Christian was not central to their success, and was just a spokesperson to push out in defense of the fakery, just like all the other senior Red Bull members. They will all soon find out that they are just as dispensable as Christian, and with any luck Max will scupper off to Mercedes to continue to affirm his and Toto's legacy as fakers. Christian was team principal in name only, the real power resided elsewhere, so as the lowest-ranking senior member, he was the most vulnerable, and with the Fiona Hewitson sexual harassment lawsuit still hanging over his head, he was naturally the first to go. He was also relieved of his position as CEO. So, he's out completely. He was happy to twist the truth and spread lies about Sir Lewis, so now he can watch as his former colleagues throw him under the bus, for a failure that they all know is down to Max's poor driving and losing the protection of Liberty Media and the FIA. Because if they still had protection, they would have simply ramped up his car's performance and he would be running away from the front as a compliant lamestream media continued to sing his praises. So, what is Christian going to do now? Is he going to come out swinging in his own defense and point the finger at Max's driving errors, or will he skulk away with his tail between his legs? What does it say about Red Bull that they sacked their team principal in the middle of a title defense? How did they know that Super Max cannot win the title? After all, he is lying in third place, and but for his own errors and Antonelli taking him out in Austria, he would be closer to the leaders and possibly running second or first. If Christian was nothing but a figurehead, what has he done or failed to do to prompt his sacking? Or could it be that knowing he is a figurehead, it was expedient to sack him to pave way for an out-of-court settlement with the PA that he sexually harassed? Well, good riddance to bad rubbish, but who will be next for the chop as Max continues to tank? Max is a worse driver than Christian is a team principal, so how will he fare for the remainder of the season? He is as much a paper champion as Christian is a team principal, and now that Christian is gone, there is only Max to blame for Max's performance. Red Bull were always going to fall apart sooner or later, and now the collapse has started. With Christian cooling his heels at home with his wife, after being thrown under the bus for Max's poor performance, one can only imagine how the Horners will react when he is again thrown under the bus to settle the case with Fiona. As for Max, he and his peeps may think they've gotten the best of Christian, but with the fall guy out of the way, Max is left to carry the can for his own failures, and his partner is about to find out why you don't F around with someone with a generational history of violence, including towards women and domestic partners. The irony of a group of cheaters doling out blame for why they are failing is just astonishing. Perhaps they feel they deserve to be allowed to cheat. Wonder where they got that idea from. Forza Ferrari.